All right, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the one and only Wrestling Otaku channel. Of course, your personification of excellence on YouTube and YWC and all that. And I'm back here for my second video of the day. It is still, of course, Tuesday, March the 11th of 2025. So I figure I'd go ahead and get a video in here because I want to talk about it because we have some a little bit of breaking news out of the sports world, out of the Baltimore sports realm, out of the Ravens camp. So I want to talk about this, and it's been a while since I've done any Ravens, coverage or Ravens topic videos here on the channel. So, of course, if you guys saw my earlier video where I did that rant talking about, the whole Trump tyranny and all that kind of stuff, and, just the general direction that I think this country is headed, and it's not headed in a good direction. I personally think this country is done for. Hope you guys enjoyed that video I did earlier. I really kind of dug deep into, I really had a lot to get off my chest with that video, hence why I did it outside. So, but I figured I'd go ahead and do this video because, like I said, we had the news broke a little while ago, and I've been meaning to do some Ravens coverage. Ravens videos here. So, of course, for those of you who follow the NFL know, it is, free agency. We got free agency frenzy and all that kind of stuff. Well, technically, it doesn't, I guess, officially start till Wednesday. That's when teams can officially sign players, who are free agents and stuff like that. But it really started on Monday. You had a lot of, NFL's free agents, players who didn't re-sign with their teams, out on the market and stuff like that. And so you've been having this kind of free agent frenzy. This is something the NFL does every year around this time. And then you look at the Ravens, and like, since free agency started, or since this whole frenzy, quote unquote, started, the Ravens have been really relatively quiet. And this is something that they're known for doing, like every year when free agency happens, when free agency starts, we got the start of a new NFL year, and they tend to basically sit on their hands pretty much and let all the big name free agents go to other teams and stuff like that. And they'll just sign, and they'll sign, they'll pick over whatever players are left, after the fact. And, they basically take the players that nobody wants. And it's a thing that the Ravens have been known for doing. And it's, a little agitating, a little aggravating that, you got some good free agents out there, and the Ravens are just sitting in their hands. And this is just something that I actually was considering doing kind of a video ranting about it, because it was like Eric DeCosta in the Ravens front office. You had all these free agents, all these names, all these players getting signed, going to different teams and stuff, and the Ravens weren't doing anything. They weren't making any moves. The only moves really they made was re-signing a couple of their guys. They re-signed Ronnie Stanley, and it's like, wow, okay, a guy who's missed like 80% of his games, the guy who only played one full season in the last 5 years, and you re-sign him to a 3-year deal, $60 million, $20 million a year, against the cap. And it's like, this is really your big splash play in free agency. And then earlier, they announced that they re-signed Patrick Ricard, so, that's fine. But that's really all the Ravens did thus far in free agency, sign their own players, re-sign their own players. And it's like, why aren't you doing something? Like, why aren't you making any kind of moves in free agency? Like, you sat around and you let the Steelers go out and get freaking Darius Slay, who, last year almost signed with the Ravens, and he ended up signing with the Eagles, and of course the Eagles won a Super Bowl, and then you go, and then he gets released, and instead of the Ravens making a play for him, you let him go to the fucking Steelers, and you got Joey Bosa out there who just got released, and he's, rumored to go with the 49ers, and the Ravens, again, they're just sitting there, and it's like, what are you doing? Like, Eric DeCosta, what are you doing? Like, can you make a move, please? Well, finally, they decided to make a move here today, so that's why I wanted to make this video. So let me just get to kind of the point here. So it was reported a little earlier, about a couple hours or so ago, that the Ravens have agreed to terms for a former Pro Bowl, All-Pro wide receiver, veteran wide receiver, DeAndre Hopkins, now agrees to come to the Ravens. The Ravens have agreed to terms on a 1-year deal worth $6 million. So DeAndre Hopkins is officially coming to Baltimore. And for me personally, this is a pretty big deal. DeAndre Hopkins is a guy who I've been wanting the Ravens to sign for a long time. Like, even years past when he was a free agent, like when he left the Texans, he then went to the Cardinals, then after that the Titans, and then last year the Chiefs. And so this is a guy who's been around. He was more famously known for his time with the Texans, for that long time. That's when he was a all-pro wide receiver. He was, doing just making ridiculous catches, all kinds of, the dude was one of the best wide receivers in the NFL, for a long time. Then he eventually left, Houston. He got traded to the Cardinals. Then he went to the Titans, and last year he went to the Chiefs. And then the Chiefs released him in free agency, and now he goes to the Ravens. So yeah, I'm personally a fan of this move. I get it, it's a 1-year deal, $6 million, and this doesn't really come off as big of an impact play, or as big of a splash play in free agency as people would like. But you have to understand, like, this is what the Ravens are going to do. They're going to sign these older veteran players to, cheap deals, and it is what it is. But DeAndre Hopkins, I'm willing to make an exception. I very much like this move because DeAndre Hopkins, he may be up there, in years. He may not be the same player that he was during his peak years, during his heyday when he was an All-Pro, a Pro Bowl wide receiver with the Texans and other teams. But I still think he's got, some gas left in the tank. And the Ravens are a team that is very good at utilizing older players like this. Is a very good team. The Ravens are a very good team at taking veteran players like this and making and basically bringing out the best in them. Case in point, look what they did with Derrick Henry last year. Derrick Henry coming off, multiple injuries. He wasn't the same player, for all those years he was with the Titans. Then he comes to the Ravens, and the dude has an all-pro year. He rushed for almost 2,000 yards last year. If it wasn't for Saquon Barkley, this dude would have been the NFL rush leader. He would have had the rush title last year. So that's how good Derrick Henry was, and how much of an impact he had on this team. And so if the Ravens can do that with Derrick Henry, I have no doubt in my mind they can potentially do it with a guy like DeAndre Hopkins. So I like the sign. I like this. I like this acquisition personally. It takes away a weapon from, of course, Kansas City. Of course, the DeAndre Hopkins was with the Chiefs in the back end of last year, and the Chiefs, obviously, they went to the Super Bowl. They were the AFC champion, defending AFC champion, the Kansas City Chiefs. So it takes a weapon away from them, albeit not a very big weapon, but a weapon nonetheless. And so anything you can take away from the Chiefs, as far as I'm concerned, the Kansas City's loss is Baltimore's game in this situation. So DeAndre Hopkins now comes over to the Ravens. He joins, of course, Lamar Jackson in that offense, and it was the Ravens offense that was pretty potent last year. Lamar Jackson, of course, threw for over 4,000 yards, had a really, really good season. Had 30 or so, 40, almost 40 touchdowns last year, and so he joins, Zay Flowers and Rashad Bateman and Mark Andrews in that offense, so he'll be an asset in that offense. I'm sure he'll be an asset in that offense, just, as long as he stays healthy, no injuries. And, of course, he joins Derrick Henry as well. So if you remember, Derrick Henry and DeAndre Hopkins were teammates when they were in Tennessee, for, about a year or two. So he reunites with Derrick Henry, and we'll see what happens. But I personally like the move. I really like this move. Finally, the Ravens make a move. They make a play for somebody. They sign DeAndre Hopkins here, 1-year deal, $6 million, and we'll see what they do. We'll see what happens, man. I'm feeling pretty good about this one. I'm gonna stay positive about this one. I'm keeping an open mind. I'm gonna be optimistic about this. I think DeAndre Hopkins if he can find that fountain of youth, and if the Ravens can kind of revitalize his career like they've done with previous free agents, veteran free agents, specifically on defense, but also offense, every now and then too. Like I said, Derrick Henry, what they did with Derrick Henry last year was just nothing short of incredible. Todd Monken has worked wonders for that offense, and so DeAndre Hopkins into that mix, and this is going to be a very potent Ravens offense. If DeAndre Hopkins gets back to his Pro Bowl form, this is going to be a very potent Ravens offense, next year. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they do. And let's hope that this is not the only move in free agency that the Ravens make, because, again, they're notorious for just not really doing anything come free agency. I personally hope they go out and get, somebody like Joey Bosa, maybe somebody like Asante Samuel Jr. I know I'm not going to hold my breath, because this is a Ravens team that doesn't really go out of their way to get, high-profile free agents, stuff like that. So it's just one of those things, they're just they're very cheap, cheapskate fucking team. They take older, aged players that nobody else wants, or players coming off of injuries that nobody else wants, and that's just what the Ravens are. So we'll see what happens. I'm gonna hold out hope that maybe they get a Joey Bosa, maybe they get a Asante Samuel Jr., and then you can go into the draft and get whatever else, whatever other needs left. You can go out and get a safety in the draft. You can get offensive linemen help in the draft, maybe another corner. And I'm gonna do at some point. I'm gonna get back to doing I'm gonna get back to doing coverage of of course we got the NFL draft coming up in another month at the end of April. And I'm going to get back to doing some videos in regards to that, in regards to who I think the Ravens should draft. I'm going to get back to kind of scouting some of these, these draft prospects coming up in this 2025 NFL draft. And we'll see what happens, man. So I need to get back to doing those videos, because it's been a while since I've done, videos like that. I didn't really get the chance to do it a whole lot last year. I want to try to do it this year. So we'll see. You'll be seeing that here on the channel. But anyway, so that is my reaction, my immediate reaction to the news. of DeAndre Hopkins, being signed by the Ravens. The Ravens acquired DeAndre Hopkins in free agency, signed him to a 1-year deal, and we will see how he factors into the Ravens offense. And I personally think this is a good move for Eric DeCosta and the Ravens front office. So, good job. I like the move. Welcome to Baltimore, DeAndre Hopkins. I hope he can get back to Pro Bowl form. I think he will. I think he will. I think he's going to play. I think this will be. I think this is going to be. He is going to be a significant factor in this Ravens offense, along with Derrick Henry and everybody else. So yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say for that. So welcome to Baltimore, DeAndre Hopkins. Let's get back to it, man. Let's get back to Pro Bowl form, dude. I would love to see it. I would love to see that, especially with a Ravens team that needs all the help they can get well, not offensively, but there's certain elements to the team that they do need to fix. Sorry about that. So anyway, like I was saying before I close the video, there are certain things, certain aspects on the team that need to be addressed, certain points of emphasis, certain key issues, weaknesses, if you will, on offense and defense that need to be addressed, and hopefully the Ravens will do so through the draft and through free agency. We'll see what happens. But anyway, that's all I got to say for this video. So thank you guys for watching my reaction to the Ravens signing DeAndre Hopkins. So like I said, I'm gonna try to get around to doing some draft coverage. NFL draft takes place in another month or so. I'm gonna do some fantasy draft videos, like I used to do back in the day. Take a look at some of these prospects. Do some scouting, if you will. Do the wrestling otaku scouting, if you will, as to who I think the Ravens should draft and where I think they should go going into the 2025 NFL draft. But anyway, that's going to be it for this video. So thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to hit that like button. Leave a comment. Give me your thoughts on anything I talked about here. Any Ravens fans any Ravens fans watching this video, be sure to hit that like button. Leave a comment. Give me your thoughts. What do you think of the DeAndre Hopkins signing by the Ravens? You think it's a good move? Bad move? Let me know. Hit me up in the comments. And be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Appreciate all the support I can get. With that being said, it's pretty much going to do it for this video, man. So thank you for watching once again. More content to come soon. Till then, the rest of Otaku, I'm out for now. See you guys later. Peace.